Please stand, everyone, if you are able, for the Graduand procession. Please be seated. Well, welcome everybody. I'm Dr. Carrie Edwards, and I'll be running the show for you here today. Before we get into the real ceremony, however, there are a few things I need to run through to help us make this as smooth as possible. Please, guests, take as many photographs as you like, but maybe don't run into the aisle, shout at them and scream at them to look at you as you do so, because they may fall over, and we are being live streamed and it can be seen around the world. Please also either turn off your mobile phones, put them on silent, put them on airplane mode. One of the delights of graduating in this glorious church are the acoustics. So if somebody does phone up to ask you, how is it going? Everybody in the building will know about it. Now, graduands, we're really, really lucky to be able to graduate in this amazing building. Some of us have graduated in the past in little more than concrete sports halls. However, it is a little bit intimidating, so I'm going to run you through everything you need to do, so don't worry. First thing, possibly the most important thing, is your tassel on the left. That's almost none of you. Brilliant, that's great. Fabulous. Right, don't worry about the order. You are in the order, and my wonderful colleagues at Boston College are going to show you where to go. I'm going to walk you through it. So I'm going to come down here. So you're going to be brought up out of your pew, and you'll be somewhere like this. And your name will be read out. And then you're going to walk this way. Mind the step, but there is a ramp if you need it. And we're going to go across here, and we're going to get halfway-ish. And we're going to grab our little cap, and we're going to doff it as a sign of respect to the presiding officer. The presiding officer will be over here with the principal of the college. They'll be smiling at you. They'll be the really happy people here. So just walk towards them if in doubt. They're going to shake your hands. There's going to be photographs here. This is a perfect time for everybody else to get some photographs in. And then you are going to walk down here, and you will walk all the way round. And if in doubt, look for somebody smiling at you in a black robe, because they want to help you out. So we're going to have a little practice of this. I'm going to play graduate. Now, everybody else, it takes 10 to 15 seconds to get across here. I want us to warm our hands up. So I'm going to read my own name out in a second. I would like you to applaud me across the stage, please, and I will show you how to do it live. Carrie Edwards. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now, that was very good. However, and I will reassure you, this has nothing to do with my massive ego and wanting you to clap me again. But could we do it again? And there were some really good cheers. I want some more cheers. I want, like, raise the roof cheers, please. Carrie Edwards. That is absolutely astounding. You have made my year. It's the only reason I do this, really. Right, so we've all got that, yeah? Brilliant. So as you do walk, just think about your pace. Don't rush it. People would like to see your faces. Your guests especially would probably like to see you actually graduate, not see a blur of black and green or blue and red or whatever your colors are today. So just be confident and relax. In a moment, our dignitaries and the academics will process in. At the end of that, you'll have graduated. We're not disappearing. We're going to get you all at the front for a massive big photograph up here. So you're going to join the academics at the front at the end. Don't worry, because all the ushers will help you do that, but just don't get scared and run off, please. And last point, you have some amazing mortarboards. No doubt at some point you will be asked to throw these in the air in a very cliched but typical celebration. Two things. One, if we're doing it outside, it is very windy. And you are going to have to pay for them if they go. The other thing is they are pointy, so just respect each other's eyes. It would ruin it if you graduated and got a degree and lost an eye, so please don't do that. Right. Are we ready? Okay. Can you all rise if you are able for the academic procession, please? Please be seated. It is my great pleasure and privilege as your host today, and as a lecturer to some of those of whom are graduating, to welcome you all to this graduation ceremony, our fourth to be held here in this glorious church. Welcome first to all our guests here to celebrate the achievements of your families and friends. Welcome too to my colleagues, the staff of Boston College, without whom this momentous occasion would not have materialized. Welcome also to our dignitaries and the Boston College Executive, the worshipful Mayor of Boston, Councillor Barry Pierpoint, Rector of St. Botolph's Church, Father David Stevenson, our presiding officer and University of Derby Head of Psychology, Dr. Amy Baraniak, the Deputy Leader of Boston Borough Council, Councillor Mike Gilbert, our College Principal and Chief Executive Officer Claire Foster, the Chair of Corporation for Boston College David Earnshaw, Deputy Principal Matt Smith, Assistant Principal Quality Standards and Performance Tom Hughes, Assistant Principal Student Experience Abid Hussain, and Executive Director People Jen Durant. And finally, but most importantly, welcome to you, our graduands, for whom this ceremony marks the end of so much hard work and academic endeavour. This is a momentous occasion as we come together to recognise and celebrate your work and achievements. I hope that you will allow yourselves to relax a little bit and enjoy the ceremony, taking well-deserved pride in all you've accomplished. As you do so, I would like to draw your attention to one of the unsung heroes of Boston's past. For it was in this town in 1877 that Janet Lane Clapon was born. And although few would have imagined it then, at a time when women in science were often discouraged or dismissed, she would go on to change the face of medicine. She pursued her studies at the University of London, where she earned one of the earliest medical degrees awarded to a woman. She didn't stop there, becoming the first woman ever to receive a scholarship from the British Medical Society. And then she did something even more extraordinary. She began to ask questions that no one else was asking. Her research began with newborns, studying the health of babies fed by their mothers compared to those who were bottle-fed. Instead of accepting the common knowledge, she began measuring the impact, changing how we still see infant nutrition today. And she didn't stop there, as she helped introduce a new way of thinking, a new method of studying health and disease. She compared groups, measured differences, and drew conclusions that could change lives. In doing so, she helped lay the foundations for what we now call epidemiology, the science that underpins modern public health. Before Dr. Lane Clapon, much of what we now know about breast cancer was simple guesswork. She turned it into a matter of evidence. By doing so, she taught us that the most powerful solutions often found not in the loudest of declarations, but in patient, careful study. Because of minds like hers, we can track diseases, prevent outbreaks, and understand the patterns that shape our well-being. Her methods, case-control studies, cohort analyses, are still used by scientists and doctors today across the world. Janet Lane Clapon's story is not just a tale from our past, it is a message speaking to all of us here today. It reminds us that great change often comes from quiet places, that curiosity, even when it seems inconvenient or unappreciated, can transform entire fields and schools of thought. And it reminds us that progress requires courage, the courage to step forward when the world expects you to stay silent, the courage to pursue truth when others say that's not how it's done. Now, to properly welcome you to our incredible surroundings, please welcome Father David Stevenson.
Good afternoon and welcome to St. Botolph's Parish Church in Boston, the Stump, of course. I'm Father David, Rector of the Parish of Boston, and on behalf of our whole church community, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to this historic and holy place for today's ceremonies. A particular welcome to all graduating, as well as distinguished guests, members of the college academic and support staff, and all who come to share in the celebrations and support our graduands. We are committed here at the Stump for this building to continue to be a place open and welcome to all. It is, for people of faith, a place of transformation. Here people come to meet, or at least seek, an encounter with God, an encounter which can change our lives. Over the centuries, countless people have known life transformed, and not just over matters of faith and religious belief. Today, you are here because your lives are transformed and are transforming. In turn, you may well go on to transform not just lives elsewhere, but the places where you will live, work, and study in the future. Hands at work in Boston over 700 years ago transformed the skyline as they built this remarkable place known throughout the world. From our stained glass windows, carvings and statues which surround us today, we are gazed upon and watched over by many who found transformation and made significant, life-changing, world-changing difference for others. Today, those who receive awards become part of the story of this place also, of the College of Boston, as they go on to begin their own stories of transformation. All are welcome here today, and on behalf of the whole parish of Boston, I offer congratulations to all receiving awards and our thanks to those who have taught, nurtured, supported, and encouraged all of these students.
Now please welcome Boston College Principal and CEO Claire Foster to officially open our ceremony.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this stunning St. Botolph's Church. Thanks to any and all of you, by the way, who manifested away the rain and some of the wind that we've experienced today to leave us with at least a smattering some bright sunshine. What an absolute privilege it is to stand before you in this beautiful space, steeped in history and meaning, as we celebrate not just today's graduates, of course, our priority, but also 6 decades of Boston College serving this wonderful community. To our graduating students, this is your day. To the families and friends who have supported you, thank you for being here. To our colleagues from the University of Derby, to our Mayor, Barry Pierpoint, to our governors, our chair, our distinguished guests, and all who make this college what it is. Welcome to everyone. 60 years, wow, that's some achievement. So further education in this town actually goes back way beyond then, but when Boston College opened its doors in 1965, Britain was alive with possibility and change. The Beatles, they were receiving their MBEs, much to the consternation of establishment. The Sound of Music had just been released in cinemas, capturing hearts, as it still does today, with its message about finding your voice and resisting the Nazis, about having confidence to climb every mountain, and something about goat herds. I never quite got that. Right here in Boston, of course, the Glidodrome was welcoming the biggest names in music. And in 1965, there was Lulu, there was Tom Jones and Sandy Shaw performing to packed crowds. The comprehensive education system was just being established across the country. The Post Office Tower was London's newest landmark. A loaf of bread cost 6p, about the same amount as a litre of petrol, and an average house in England cost, ready for this, £3,660. And I'm sure Phil and Kirsty would have something to say about that one. But some things were already changing that would shape our future. In 1965, the Race Relations Act came into force. The 70-mile-an-hour speed limit was introduced and is still with us today. And most significantly for us in education is the year that saw the first students sit the Certificate of Secondary Education, better known to old people like me as the CSE. And it was part of a movement to democratise learning and create opportunity for all. And of course, education policy has not stopped changing since, but I think I'll leave that one for another day. From those beginnings to today, Boston College has been on its own journey of transformation and growth. And even in the last 5 years, we've been able to invest significantly in our estate, our learning resources, and our staff. And as I speak, the new Mayflower building has been given its final touches before opening its doors to the next wave of HE and adult students. But throughout those 60 years, one thing has remained constant: our service and commitment to this community and the people in it. And in this, our diamond year, we've celebrated that commitment in spectacular fashion. Sparkfest brought music, joy, and togetherness in our park. And in February, the award-winning Boston Brilliance illuminated heritage landmarks just like the church, quite literally brightening our town and bringing our diverse groups together, proud to be in this place. These weren't just events, they were statements about who we are and what matters to us. And that brings me to our values, our guiding lights embodied in the acronym Brighton: bravery, respect, inspiration, growth, truth, hope, energy, and nurture. But today, I want to focus particularly about bravery. Just bringing this ceremony here to Boston actually took that, because it would have been easier to follow tradition, to do things the way they'd always been done. But with the support of the University of Derby, we chose a different path. And we chose to bring this momentous occasion here home to celebrate you in the midst of your own community, in this magnificent church that has witnessed centuries of human achievement and aspiration. Now, this is my 4th graduation as your principal, and sadly, it will be my last. And as I prepare to retire from education and pursue new interests, I find myself reflecting on what has mattered most in those 30 years. And of course, it has and will always be about doing the right thing for our students, even when that right thing hurts. My 30 years of teaching and leading in the sector comes back to this, actually, and it was said earlier. It's about staying curious, staying brave, continuing to grow, and that's what I've tried to model. And that's what our college embodies, and that's what I see in each and every one of you today. Because you've been brave too, haven't you? You chose to invest in yourselves, to step into the unknown of higher education. You respected your own potential enough to pursue it. You've grown, not just in knowledge, but in confidence, resilience, and capability. You've nurtured your talents and I hope discovered new ones. You've also supported each other through good times and late deadlines, through personal challenges and triumphs. You've lent your strength to others when they needed it most. If we were to go back to 1965, people couldn't have imagined the world that you're graduating into, with smartphones, the internet, of course, artificial intelligence, Love Island. These were the stuff of science fiction of William Hartnell's Doctor Who, although I don't think even the Doctor could have foreseen reality television. Your predecessors could not have predicted the challenges and opportunities that you would face, but I bet they'd recognise something fundamental: the transformative power of education and the importance of lifelong learning. And when it's time and you leave here today and step into whatever comes next, remember that learning doesn't end. Growth should never end, and the bravery that brought you here will be called upon again and again. Stay curious, stay open, stay true to those values that have guided you, because you are now part of the 60-year legacy of students who have walked through Boston College's doors and emerged changed, equipped, and ready. You are part of a community that believes in lifting each other up, in creating opportunities, in brightening not just our own lives, but the lives of those around us. Winston Churchill once said, "The empires of the future are the empires of the mind." In 1965, he departed this world and a new empire was built right here in Boston, an empire of minds, of possibilities, of community. You are the inheritors and architects of that empire. So to our graduates, well done for getting this far. Thank you for choosing Boston College, and well done for your dedication, your hard work, your resilience. Thank you for being part of our story, as we are now part of yours. And now the time has come for you to graduate, to collect your degrees, and celebrate everything that you have achieved. Thank you.
Now we have our guest speaker. I would please ask the Worshipful Mayor of Boston, Councillor Barry Pierpoint, to come to the lectern.
Just in case you were thinking I was drinking gin, it was actually water. Good afternoon, graduates, families, friends, staff, and distinguished guests. What an honour it is to stand before you today as the Mayor of Boston, celebrating not just your remarkable achievements, but also a milestone year for this wonderful institution as Boston College marks its 60th anniversary. To our graduates, congratulations. You've worked hard, persevered, and today you cross the threshold into the next chapter of your lives. Your families and friends are bursting with pride, and rightly so. I've spent over 30 years in business, transforming organisations and helping them reach their potential. I can tell you this, the foundation of any thriving community and successful business, any prosperous future, is education and aspiration. You embodied both today. I'm just going to share with you, just for a few moments, my career, my life. I attended a college, and this is where I started in readiness for my career and hopefully my long-term aim to be in business. That learning was the platform to prepare me for the challenges ahead. At 21, I was an entrepreneur with no help from anyone, running a group of 6 franchise jet petroleum stations with a staff of 40. I was the first marketing director to be appointed in professional football, then became the CEO, later 2 years later, for Leicester City Football Club. I was there 10 years and floated that on the stock market and raised £12 million. I became the chief executive of Portsmouth Football Club, then Bradford, and I also had a spell at Boston as well. Later on, I purchased a rundown advertising, marketing and PR agency that was losing money and turned it from a £1 million company into a £5 million turnover within 3 years. I'm now a business and management consultant, non-exec director of various companies, and a chairman of a new startup. My education, my learning at college, started me on that road and journey, and a person who was dedicated and was really determined to do something with his life, that took me on that road to success. Boston College isn't just an education institution, it's the beating heart of opportunity for our town. For 60 years, it's been giving people from our area hope, opening doors, and transforming lives. It's been pivotal in ensuring that young people from Boston don't just dream about their futures, they have the skills, confidence, and qualifications to make those dreams a reality. And I've just mentioned about my dreams and how I ended up over the years doing what I did. The past year has shown us that just how central the college is to our community. From leading Boston Brilliance, which has lit up the beauty of Boston's architecture, to the wonderful Spark Fest, your party in the park. The college doesn't just educate, it brings us together, it creates joy, it builds civic pride. And what a statement the new Mayflower building makes as the flagship project of the town's fund, that this building is more than bricks and mortar and its golden roof. Its name resonates deeply with our town's history and our link to the Pilgrim Fathers. That's history. It isn't just something to look back on fondly, it's an anchor for our future. Those pilgrims were driven by hope, by courage, and the pursuit of opportunity. Sounds familiar? that's exactly what you graduates represent today and what the college continues to foster. I'm particularly looking forward to visiting the new Eden student restaurant when it opens soon, another example of the college is providing real-world learning experience, and the food is brilliant. I must take a moment to thank Claire Foster, your exceptional principal. Claire, your tenure has been marked by unwavering commitment, not just to the education experience, but to the community cohesion and civic pride. As a member of the Town Boston Board, I witnessed firsthand your dedication to making Boston a better place for everyone. Thank you for that time and service. To our graduates, you stand on the shoulders of 60 years of excellence. You carry with you not just qualifications, but the hope of a town that believes in you. Whether you stay in Boston or take your talents further afield, remember that aspiration paired with education is an unstoppable force. Go forward with confidence, make your mark, and never stop learning. Congratulations, class of 2025. The future is yours. Thank you.
So our next speaker is one of today's graduands who's had a long and interesting history with Boston College. You may also know him as Endeavour FM's resident film fella. Please welcome Keegan Nuttall Cartwright.
Thank you, Carrie. Can everybody see me? Can you all hear me? Excellent. I did not expect to be selected as a public speaker for this event until Carrie Edwards strolled into the film and media staff room back in July and said to me, Keegan, we need someone, graduation's coming up, and we need someone who has been on a journey, someone who's gone the distance, and someone that Boston College has made a real difference to. Would you like to do it? And I simply replied with, well, anything to boast an ego to. For most of my adolescence life, I grew up a very typical autistic boy. I was non-verbal to the age of 5 and stayed at home most of the time, but formed very close friendships with people like Connor Boyfield. And also developed a very strong interest in film and media at a very young age due to the vast quantity of VHS tapes and DVDs we owned at our home. I never questioned my life, the life that I lived, until a French lesson in 2012, where we took a departure from learning French to discuss neurodivergent characters that defined how the general audiences viewed learning difficulties at the time, especially in media such as Rayman. While a very dated outlook on autism made me very cynical about my life up until that point. I felt like I had woken up and saw the world for what it truly was. It was like being plugged into the Matrix. Retrospectively, I also felt I never achieved anything very much noteworthy in my life, aside from a few sport-related ventures like cross-country running. Despite my appreciation for film and media, it wasn't until Key Stage 4 in 2014, nearing the end of my secondary school period, where I was given the opportunity to take part in film-related activities on Fridays for an hour and a half. It wasn't much, but it was the only opportunity at the time I could have to discuss my passion for film and media. When I moved to Winslow in 2015, I dabbled in art and familiarised myself with Rochford campus during free periods. But when I went into RSW business in 2016, I started to bond with lecturers like Jeff Whitwell, Kirsty Johnston, and Carol Hanford. I struggled to make friends outside of class and kept to myself most of the time, modelling my personality more on the man with no name rather than Quentin Tarantino. I could have taken the leap into film and media at the end of that year, but didn't. I'm not entirely sure why, other than I felt confident in where I was at the time. And when I joined RSW Catering in 2017, in some ways, this felt like a regression rather than a progression. I did try to include aspects of film and media within my work wherever I could, making presentations in English class on Bond films and the influences the film had on projects such as Spice World, the movie. Spice World, what a film, as one Ross Ianson would say. Finally, in 2018, I signed up to Media Level 2. It was quite a shock to the system, as I had so much homework to do, and despite thinking that my work was less than stellar, I started to obtain merits within my own work. Could I have achieved distinctions? Yes, absolutely. but I didn't feel comfortable within my own skin, especially when talking about my obscure love for cult classics within person or within my written work. But with the help of LSAs like Jack Sharp, I put in more effort, found my stride, and got into level 3 with my tutors telling me, Keegan, we've never seen anything like your film on level 2 media before. But despite all this praise, I still felt that I held back, just minding my own business when I could have been forming connections with my fellow peers. In 2019, I started level 3 year 1. I was 20 years old, but older than my 17 to 18-year-old peers. But I got better at connecting with people this time around, as we made a group chat within the first week of the class. Then COVID hit in 2020. I found this whole period quite limiting, since I was in a suffocating environment at home with just one person, but got to make a movie despite these limitations and managed to obtain a distinction overall for my efforts. During level 3 year 2, I doubled about going away to university, but with some advice from the tutors, I decided to make a decision to study at Boston College instead. Sadly, this didn't quite pan out, and after 2 months of study, I suspended my course for a year. During that year time off, I took the time to explore the UK, taking the train to places like Nottingham, catching up with friends I've not spoken to in years, and going out to nightclubs on my own terms, bonding with people with unfamiliar environments, and creating a social life for myself. When I came back in 2022, I obtained a new tutor, Dan Thompson, whom I quickly bonded over many topics: Simpsons, Brendan Fraser, Superman 2, and Bond, James Bond. I became more outspoken and found Dan's interest in me very pivotal in myself becoming more independent and comfortable in my own personal interests. I made use of the Boston College University Centre to study in my free time, and my grades were phenomenal, hitting 68s and 71s. Quite remarkable, to be honest. I directed Moving On Out, a personal drama shown on the big screen at the first Boston Independent Film Festival. I also took on a massive amount of work for the film festival with Dan himself, and I shed my skin even more than before, forming a few friendships throughout this process. These people include Jack Knowles, Henry Seymour, and Al Harper, who showed me many eye-opening devices that helped me socially moving forward, such as noise-cancelling earplugs. On level 5, I realised how much I enjoyed writing, much to the enjoyment or dismay, depending on who you ask, of my tutors, as I would write between 15,000 words to 30,000 words per brief. And while developing my skills as a filmmaker, I subsequently made a film titled To Die With Grace, which was made over a 9-month period with help from every department in the media sector, which won a film award for Best Screenwriting. Despite this accomplishment, there was some doubt on what the future would bring, as I was tasked with a brief where the focus was on career aspirations, which became too real for my tastes. And it wasn't until Mark Phillips, whom I bonded over our appreciation for Sir Alec Guinness and Linda Kozlowski, suggested working for Boston College as an LSA, which made logical sense being a former ECHP student myself. I was coached through the interview process, and after one interview on the 25th of July, I was given the job through a phone call where I was conveniently at Savoy Cinema of all places. Finally, being who I was finally paying off for the better. On level 6, I encountered a new dynamic angle to my life, mixing employment with study, where I lived a quiet double life as an LSA by day and a student by night. A difficult balance, to say the least, especially when I started production on my next film, Forever and Always, which would go on to win Best Cinematography, which I granted to Ben Tiffin, as well as Best Ambition at the film festival. Standing at that front stage in front of full view of 155 people and talking to the public, staff and students post that ceremony, I never realised how loved and appreciated I was until that very night. It was a strange but thrilling experience to have gone from a passive observer to an active participant in the span of just 3 years. Looking back, I honestly think I never thought I would get this far. If I were to describe 14-year-old me, I would describe it as an uptight, introverted, jealous man who struggled with his emotions, wanted to grow up and experience what life had to offer beyond his bedroom and the 4 walls that he saw every day. But if I were to describe 2025 me, I would say I'm a laid-back, considerate, a friendly, approachable face that is easy to talk to. A man who is able to take ownership of his life by doing things that truly make him happy. I now work at Boston College full-time as an LSA, assisting students and making sure that tutors can teach, noting the students are doing what is asked of them. I have a volunteering job at Endeavour FM, discussing films as the film fella, due to impressing people like Dylan Taylor with my enthusiasm and fast-talky nature. I dabble in freelance videography and photography from time to time. And finally, I also have a few film-related and podcast-related projects coming up that I'm involved with to fulfill my creative side in my spare time. I still struggle socially every day as I still mask my personality to a variety of people, but let's be honest, we all wear masks, metaphorically speaking, to conceal who we really are. Sometimes I can be Keegan the LSA, Keegan the socializer, or even Keegan the chilled-out entertainer. But as a great poet once said, I am the one and only, nobody I'd rather be. I am the one and only, you can't take that away from me. Thank you all.
Thank you, Keegan. Now, if I can ask our technicians just to move our other microphone to the centre of the platform. Oh, Axel, have you... Just give us a second. Perfect. Right, we have a vocal performance from one of our Level 4 Performing Arts students who is just starting on her higher education journey. Please give a very warm welcome to Amelia Salmon.
To the dark, hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, 'cause no one will love you as you are. I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. Sharpest words wanna cut me down. I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be, this is me. Look out, 'cause here I come, and I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I take no apologies, this is me. Look out, 'cause here I come, and I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I take no apologies, this is me.
Right, now comes the really serious bit. Have you all got your cameras ready? Could I ask the principal and our presiding officer to take their places at the far side of the platform, please? Oh, okay. You may have to adjust doffing positions, but we'll be fine. Right. Presiding officer, I am pleased to present the graduates receiving Level 4 Professional Accounting AAT Diploma, Louise Chapman. Ashley Firth. Benjamin Lim. Liam Quinn. Kirsty Ward. Jovi Warnes. Courtney Williamson. Presiding officer, I am pleased to present the graduand receiving Higher National Certificate in Animal Management, Nicola Lord. Presiding Officer, I am pleased to present the graduand receiving Higher National Diploma in Engineering, Vidas Breidis. Presiding Officer, I am pleased to present the graduand receiving Foundation Degree in Children and Young People, Special Educational Needs and Disabilities, Samantha Kelk. Presiding Officer, I am pleased to present the graduands receiving Foundation Degree in Children and Young People Teaching Assistant, Beatrice Lamond. Gracie Newton. Courtney Seal. Presiding Officer, I am pleased to present the graduand receiving Higher Apprenticeship in Business Management, Kelly Taylor. Presiding Officer, I am pleased to present the graduands receiving Honours Degree, Bachelor of the Arts in Business Management, Rachel Huskisson. Victoria Maximova. Presiding Officer, I am pleased to present the graduands receiving Foundation Degree in Creative Arts, Lily Ann Andrews. Bernice Bradley. Callum Button. Poppy Curtis. Liza Dawson. Ellen G. Finley Gorman. Keris Hinchcliffe. Charlotte Howard. Aaliyah Jones. Daniela Martinez de Freitas. Abby Mitchell. Chandler Morris. Rosie Must. Mackenzie Sewell. Bethany Twell. Clarissa Weber. Presiding Officer, I am pleased to present the graduates receiving Honours Degree Bachelor of the Arts in Creative Arts. Bethany Baker. Lucy Clements. Keegan Nuttall Cartwright. Tracy Louise Richardson Hanwell. Lucy Rollinson. Elise Roper. Saffron Troops. Todd Vizard-Jones. Rose Ward. Presiding Officer, I am pleased to present the graduates receiving Higher National Diploma in Public Services, Ellie Biswell. Miroslav Ondrus. Robert Osborne Hall. Becky Slater. Harrison Wright. Presiding Officer, I am pleased to present the graduands receiving Honours Degree Bachelor of Science in Public Services, Dorothy Bridger. Mogota Odzalina. Kylie Epton. Charlotte Clowes. Nicola Schwarzberger. Presiding Officer, I am pleased to present the graduands receiving Honours Degree Bachelor of Science in Sport, Fitness and Wellbeing. Emily Clark. Stephen Markham. Jamie Richardson. Joseph Woods. Arias Zales. Presiding Officer, I am pleased to present the graduands receiving Honours Degree Bachelor of the Arts in Education Studies, Tracy Adams. Jasmine Beck. Sophie Disney. Charlotte Helen. Elena Maxwell. Lauren Potter. Chloe Sands. Charlotte Stretton. Lauren Thornalley. Presiding Officer, I am pleased to present the graduands receiving Postgraduate Certificate in Education, Post 14, Further Education and Skills. Joshua Hames. Kaya Zivner. Becky Thompson. And this is our last graduand, so can you make lots of noise for Bryony Williams? I would now like to ask our Principal, Claire Foster, to return to the lectern to close our ceremony.
What an amazing day. And before we conclude, I want to express some heartfelt thanks to the many people who've made today and actually your entire journey possible. Firstly, though, graduates, can I ask you all to stand, if you can, and turn to face your supporters? So all of our graduates. On behalf of our graduates, to family and friends, thank you. Thank you for the early morning encouragement, the late night reassurance, the belief you showed even when confidence wavered. Thank you for the sacrifices you made of time, of resources, of patience. Your graduate success is your success too. You've been their foundation, their rock, and we see you. We appreciate you. And graduates, this is now your opportunity to show your appreciation in the usual way. You may be seated. Okay, so the big thanks time. So firstly, I'd like to thank our governors, to our chair, and our distinguished guests for joining us today. Our sincere even thanks to Father David Stevenson for his words, and for Adam Kelk, our verger, for welcoming us into this beautiful church and ensuring that everything has run so smoothly today. St. Botolph's provides the perfect Instagram setting for this special celebration. To Amy Baraniak from the University of Derby, who graciously stepped in and did a fantastic job, just saying, of being our presiding officer today. Thank you. I want to say just a moment about the University of Derby, because it is thanks that we give for your partnership, for your academic rigour, and your willingness to support our vision for higher education, and for bringing this celebration home to Boston. It really does mean a lot, and your trust in us makes all of this possible. In terms of today's ceremony, the Worshipful Mayor of Boston, Councillor Barry Pierpoint, I probably got that wrong, sorry Barry, but thank you for honouring us with your presence and your words today, truly inspirational. Your support for this college and for our community means more than you know. Thanks to our brilliant students, Keegan for his wonderful student address, and of course Amelia for that beautiful rendition of This Is Me. To our marketing team, this ceremony just would not happen without you. The organisation, the attention to detail, the countless hours of preparation, you've made today seamless and so special. Thank you for your dedication and professionalism. To all our professional support staff who have contributed today and throughout the year, you are the unseen scaffolding that holds everything together, from IT and security to facilities, from administration to student services. Thank you. And especially to those members who've been on hand today to guide our graduates. But of course, huge thanks to our academic and study support staff. You are the heart of Boston College. You don't just teach subjects, you inspire minds. You don't just mark assignments, you nurture potential. You don't just deliver courses, you transform lives. And every graduate here today has been shaped by your expertise, your encouragement, and your unwavering commitment to their success. I'd like us all to give a huge thank you to this team for everything that they've done to help you on your journey. And so to our graduates, as you leave here today with your well-earned qualifications, remember that you also leave with something else. You're part of the Boston College family, and that connection doesn't end at the church doors. We'll be cheering you on as you take your next steps, whatever they may be. In the 60 years since this college began, thousands, probably more than that, have sat where you sit now. They've gone on to build careers, raise families, start businesses, serve communities, create art, advance knowledge, make a difference. And now it's your turn to add your chapter to the story. As I said earlier, stay brave, stay curious, stay connected. And when you look back on your time at Boston College, I hope you'll do so with pride. Pride in what you've achieved, and pride in how you grew and pride in being part of a community that believes in the power of education to brighten lives. I will also feel an immense pride for the small part I've been able to play in the Boston College voyage. So before I close, thank you all for being here, and please join us for refreshments as we continue the celebration and take plenty of those souvenir snaps. I think given the weather, we probably are going to do the final graduation photographs inside. So finally, congratulations once again to the class of 2025, and perhaps just one more round of applause if your hands aren't too sore. Now it's time for you to go out there and show the world what Boston College students are made of. Thank you.
Our ceremony has now concluded. The new graduates will be led forward by the ushers to join the academics and guests on the platform for a photo that symbolises their induction into the academic world. Guests, please stay seated for this. You're going to have a chance for a terrific photo, and after the photo is finished, everybody will drift towards you. So thank you very much for your time, and graduates, please make your way forward.